Hello guys, Newport Gaming here with Austin and the Big Mike, and we are doing another market watch. We haven't done this in a while. First, we're gonna go over some cheap cards that have gone up in price, and then we're gonna go over some higher end cards that have also gone up in price. So the first one, I guess I'll talk about this one a little bit. Thunderclap Monk with the new Thunder deck that's coming out. This card is supposed to be pretty good in it, so this card went from like cents to $2.50. So if you have this card, probably pull it out, get rid of it, or hold on to it if you want to play the deck. And then, all right, I'll let Mike do the next one. Got Duotarion.
Yeah, two printings of this wonderful card. It is a Magnet Warrior combo, well, not combo piece, but I guess starter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, if you bought the midterm stuff, which I know I personally did, so I went through my bulk. Um, and yeah, they got two commons in the box in each one of the decks, and they're $3 a piece now. And obviously, the Legendary Duelist Super, crazy.
Yeah, and like
That's all I
the
got.
and like the super one of those. This was out of like one of those like random sets. So this is worth money. But even the common, pushing over $3. People were playing three of it in Magnet Warrior. So this card, until it gets a reprint, it'll probably continue to be worth money. But okay, on to the next card now. We have Contrast Hero. Okay, I'll let Mike do this one again. I'll let Mike do this one
Dude, this is
again.
my baby. This is my baby. All right. Yeah, Contrast Hero Chaos. The only negate in the hero archetype was generally unplayable for the longest time because it needed two Masked Warrior or Masked Heroes. Um, this card was literally cents. It might still be in your Hollow Bulk, but when they announced Masked Hero main deck cards, that's the first card I thought of, and I was like, okay, cool. Miracle Fusion actually end on something that's gonna threaten. So, yeah, this card is what $5 now, probably for first eds.
Yeah, it's definitely
So,
pushing up closer to five. There's a bunch of
yeah,
walls now because a bunch of vendors probably just had a bunch of these sitting around because I mean it is just a structure deck card that you get out of a structure deck, but
that's
now
the
it's a
only printing.
card. Yeah, now people are playing two of it in Hero, so it's not even like you only need one. People are playing two of it now.
And Genesis is playing it as well in that build. So you got multiple formats
Hmm.
and just hero. That's all you need to know. Hero.
Yeah, Hero. Until this card sees a reprint, it is gonna be worth money. And then even if there is a reprint, like this one will probably stay worth money, depending
Probably
on
stay
like
two. I think
the.
I think it'll always be at least $1 for probably ever.
Yeah, I was gonna say it also depends on like the rarities that come out, cause we've seen before like rarity collection drops, and then if it comes like ultra rare, then like
Yeah, the rarity
yeah.
collection is about the only thing that can affect this.
Yeah. But okay, now we have Soundproofed from Extreme Victory. This is a rare from an old set, never had a reprint. And this card is a floodgate, basically. You activate it at the start of the main, and then neither player can special summon synchro monsters until the end of the opponent's next turn. So this card right now for near mint, the lowest for it is 8.39, and if you want a play set, you're paying $9 for it. Now they do have a bunch of it. But this card right here, it's like this could end up being solid. I don't know if it's the floodgate that we're gonna end up playing. So I'd probably get rid of it now before people start realizing like this is probably not the floodgate that you'll play. But one good thing about this card too is Genesis format. It's not pointed, so it's a floodgate that's not pointed in Genesis. There's also like Tune coming up in the TCG soon, and that deck's a synchro deck. So people will probably at least test the card out. But if I had this card personally, I'd be getting rid of it ASAP. ASAP.
Also, go back down to that wall. I want to see something.
Yeah, they don't have like.
78 listed, 197 sales.
Yeah, this is probably someone who like personally was like, yo, let me build like a little binder full of this card. This card's gonna be crazy in the future. And they're just like not a big seller, but they were just a big collector of this card because they are literally the only like quantities of them. Everyone else only has one or two, and then you can see it quickly go up to 20. So it's like if this card does get popular, these will get bought quickly, and this card will probably continue to go up in price since it's such an old rare from an old set. But okay, now the next stuff, Phantom Knight. I guess we could both talk about this. There's a lot of Phantom Knight cards that have gone up because of the new support. Like, you can see all these, like, if you look at, like, their market price versus, like, lowest listing, like, look at this. There's one listing, QCR Fogblade, at 49. And then, like, all of them have just gone up in price because the support is absurd. And you can even scroll down and you can see, like the Silent Boots. Like, I think this is the only cheap QCR. Yeah, I think that's the only cheap
Yeah, it was a
QCR.
10. It was a 10 promo that was literal quarters of that.
Yeah.
And now it's getting over $1, and it could probably, with a lot of those like meta call 10 QCRs, they cap out probably about $5. I know like Panker Tops hit about 10 at one point, but I would probably say it capped out at 3, and they'll probably sell around 150 to 2.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if this card goes up a little bit from here, though, just because.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Yeah, in the past, like, almost every time this card's been, like, a 3 of in Phantom Knight decks, just because it's an extender. So it wouldn't surprise me if this card is, once again played at 3, even with the new support coming out. So, it wouldn't surprise me if this card continues to go up. But if you do have
one
these
card
cards,
DPE. One card DPE.
True. One card DPE. Shout out to Phantom Knights from like 4 years ago. And then Radiant Typhoon Vision. This card's been going stupid. You might be like, how much is this card worth now? Well, this is if you want a near mint copy, this is a $6 card. $6, and that's only one of them. Like, these cards are getting bought so quick because everybody needs Radiant Typhoon Vision for so many different decks. Like, there's meta decks that play it, not meta decks that play it, Genesis decks that play it. Even if you're just playing like a board breaker deck, you're probably gonna play this for more consistency and because it grabs MST. So this is one of the best commons we've seen in a long time, and this isn't even an old common. This came out like 6 months ago.
It's definitely the best like modern set common we've seen.
Yeah, and if you have this card, like if you bought a case of this set, or you bought even just a box of this set, you probably have like 1 or 2 of these just laying around at this point. And this card is definitely worth getting rid of. I don't know when it'll get reprinted, but it'll probably get reprinted at some point as a different rarity, especially with just how good of a card it is. When do you think a card like this would get reprinted?
Probably the 10s. Rarity 5 is weird, right? Because like this the first wave of full art, so there's gonna be a lot of nostalgia pieces in there.
Yeah.
So I could see this card kind of missing Rarity 5, and I definitely could see this card being like a 10 Starlight, Prismatic Secret. Could even be an Ultra because they really don't jump crazy like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely, like, if it misses Rarity 5, it'll more than likely be in the 10s as a holo. So like you have months before this card is probably gonna get a reprint.
Yeah, and people are gonna still consistently need this card. Like, people are gonna keep buying this card because people are gonna keep needing this card.
It draws 2, searches MST, and you can play it with the goo package. Yeah, it's broken.
Yeah, very good. And then next we have Mithra the Thunder Vassal. The common one of this, not really worth too much, just because it is a common.
Still a decent common.
Yeah, it's still like pushing over $1, and even now it's even gone up a little bit since I looked at it last night. It's $1.69 now for the wall of it, and it only came out of the one structure deck for the Monarch deck. But then the super rare of it from OTS. If you go down and look at this, there's one at 6, and then you keep going down. You keep going down, and you try to find the next near mint, and you're struggling to find it. And now it's like $10 for a playset, $10 for a playset, and then it's basically gone. I mean, there's $20 right here, but I don't think this card will end up being $20, unless
that's just someone trying to capitalize off like a real buyout.
Yeah, I think like this card will be played in like the new Thunder deck, same as like the Thunder Monk, because it also summons a token to the opponent's board that you're then able to pop. So that's really cool, and that deck doesn't use the extra deck, so the first effect of this doesn't really matter that it locks you. So this might be a card that ends up being played in that deck. People will definitely test it out at the bare minimum. So maybe pick up your playset of commons now, because I don't think this card's going to be reprinted for a while. This is the type of card that could just go without a reprint for a long time, really. And then next card, Filo, Messenger, 4 higher. And then, yeah, this card, it's just a common that's worth like $3. There's no like crazy news about this card. It's not like any new support's coming out. This support came out like a month ago. But people are still playing this deck. And even then, this isn't really a card that a lot of people even play in like the meta builds of the deck. But I just want to throw this one in here because, you know, it's another rare that you could just be finding in bulk that's $3 for no reason. And you could just, boop, sell it, get rid of it now. Because this card, you know, eventually it'll probably see a reprint, and then it'll just be completely worthless, like cents. The next one, I'll let Mike talk about this one some, but QCR Goyo Guardian. Here you go, I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, if it's for, depending on, you know, which rarities you like, a lot of the Edison cards did come QCR and the rarity collections over the years. But, you know, the alties, crazy price. If you want high rarity, but you don't want to, you know, get hurt at the wallet, this one's like a fair option, but you can see it quickly will start jumping as these lower copies get bought. What is that, like 20 copies, 20 mid-20s before it's just a $75 card?
Yeah,
not even. It's gonna sell at 75.
Yeah, there's 22 total right now. So yeah, about 21, 40 and under. And you can see really quickly, like, there's like a couple at 21. Like, these are, you know, pretty solid prices to pick it up at. But then, you know, really once you start getting up here, it's like, oh geez, it's starting to go up a lot. And then once these get bought, it's not hard for people just to go and buy one Goyo Guardian for themselves at the cheapest price. And then there is
as soon as people see, my bad. As soon as people see that like the 20s are starting to drop, now it's like, oh, why we're buying this card, so the 30s are gonna get sold, and then now the market's just disrupted, and it's probably gonna be in the 40 to 50 range.
Yeah,
I don't see it hitting 75 because, you know, unlim alties are 75. So
yeah.
like I mean, unlim alties, I definitely take precedent over QCRs just because it's Goyo. It's icon card.
Yeah, and the ulti looks crazy. But I definitely see this card
nice.
going up from here just because it only takes a few people needing it for their extra deck because they want to, you know, match their other QCRs, and then all of a sudden this card's $40 and it's at 20 right now. So maybe if you see it in binders or something, you know, go ahead and trade for it. Because I would, if I saw this card at a $20 price in a trade binder, I'd be like, yeah, I would definitely trade for that card right now. It is very easy for this card to double in price. Absolutely. And then now we have Ophion, and this is also for the new Phantom Knight stuff. They're able to go ahead and summon out Ophion from the extra deck. So this card, if we look at how much it was being bought for, let's just say, you know, before, holy, I was going to say, yeah, right around here, the beginning of like the buyout, it was like $3. And now people are paying 20s on it. And now the lowest copy is 25. And this card, I mean, Ophion, it is a floodgate. It does make it to where, you know, people can't summon level 5 or higher. So if you are able to summon this in Phantom Knight, and let's say something like Draco Tails meta, you know, you just shut them out of the game, basically. And people will...
Shut out of the game?
Yeah, it's gonna shut a lot of decks out of the game. Like, there's a bunch of random decks that will get hit by this. Like a Fiendsmith, like Elf Note deck. Like, I don't know exactly what will be meta when the time comes, but this will probably hurt, you know, one or two of the meta decks just because it's a pretty generic floodgate.
The new Phantom Knight stuff might be a Genesis call.
Really
good in Genesis.
Yeah, because they do a lot of XYZ summons. They don't need to summon Rusty Bardiche. They have a lot of XYZ options that are good. Setting up Fog Blades from the deck.
So you don't need that. You really don't need that dump if you got a bunch of new cards.
Yeah. And like the deck gets a lot of like main deck interruptions too, from setting like double Fog Blade or being able to like grab those type of cards.
The only trap cards that are just good because they're also extenders.
Yeah, there are interruptions, follow up, extenders, a lot of solid cards in that deck, especially with the new support. And now Force QCR. This card, if we look at it, it was getting bought up, like a month ago at 50s, and now it's being bought at 75s. This is basically the same thing with like the Goyo Guardian, where it's not like this card's getting bought out. It's just there were only a few copies at 50. People just naturally wanted to pick up a copy for their deck, and now the lowest price for it's 75. So it's like, yeah, I can see QCR Mirror Force being at 75. People love the QCRs. They want to match their deck with it. And this is like a super staple card for something like Edison format. And even other formats too. Like Mirror Force is just one of those old cards that's played in a lot of formats.
And just from like a rarity standpoint, rarity 3 QCRs are pretty good.
Yeah.
Rarity 2 kind of like missed. Rarity 4 is still kind of bad. But rarity 3, rarity 1, those are the good ones.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed that over time collecting, trading, that they hold their price a little bit better.
Yeah. And now the last card that we want to talk about is the Elzette Azamina. The QCR and the Secret. We'll talk about the QCR one first, though. This is being played in Yummy variants now as a one-of because you're able to search it, summon it, synchro it off, and then search for Sinful Spoils. So you're able to turn one Yummy into like the Dragoon plus Azamina stuff plus Yummy combo. So you end up setting like 3 actual negates now with one Yummy card.
Yeah. Instead of just like the wanted package bridging into Yummy, Yummy can now bridge into the wanted package. And now it's the one piece, and now your little side engine that does something cool is actually like, now there's a higher ceiling for it. So this card's kind of broken.
And you don't even have to draw the stuff. You're always just getting access to it, which is really good. So we can go ahead and look at how much it was being bought for just a few weeks ago at 40s. And then now it's being pushed up to like 116, and then we can see right here, people are actually trying to sell them at like 100s. And I think, this is probably it'll probably settle down a little bit lower than this, maybe around, $90 to $100. Just because it also is a White Forest card, and there are a lot of people that actually play White Forest. So even when like the Yummy hype starts to die down a little bit, it still has the White Forest holding it up. And then on top of that too, like this is a card that can also be used in the future, even in other decks potentially, just because of how strong it is to be able to go for a generic Synchro 6 to search this, to make a Synchro 8, and then now you get to set up 2 negates, like off of just the search of this.
And you get a draw.
And you get, you get so much.
You get to put it back.
Yup. And then now we also have the secret rare version of it, and we can see that this card before. We have to scroll down a little bit on this one because this is the one that a lot of people have been buying because the QCR is like the rich copy of it. But you can see
it was like the 14-15 range for a while.
Yeah, it was. I think it was even like a little bit lower than that. Not too much though. Yeah, just a little bit lower. And now, it's up here pushing one copy at 22, and then 25, and then 30, and then 35, and then 45, and then, people are buying this so much. I don't know where this card will settle at, just because it is a card that a lot of people need right now. But if you need a copy, I would suggest getting it soon. If you have a copy to sell, maybe you go ahead and list it around like the $30, $35 mark, and you'll probably sell it pretty quick. But all right, you have any final words you want to say, Big Mike, before we hop off of this?
No, I think we covered everything I wanted to get to.
All right, sweet. Thank you for watching. We'll for sure be doing more market watches in the future. We're trying to do more content, but at the same time we want higher quality content than what we were pushing out before, so we're not just going to be uploading mail days. We have had some crazy mail days though since we stopped recording.
There have been some good ones.
We've had some crazy mail days, so maybe in the future if people want it, we'll upload like a quick little $10,000 mail day or something, but that's only if people show interest in it. And all right, Newport Gaming, peace.